Hey guys, Ben here. Welcome back to another live stream. Today we are doing the DCTV show episode 61. We've been on a break for about 2 weeks because I have been MIA out of the
Hasn't it
country.
been more than 2 weeks? It feels like it's been more than 2 weeks.
It's been more than 2 weeks since you came on here.
Oh, okay. But you did a stream before you left, right?
Yeah, right before I left, I did one stream by myself and that was it. But that was like pretty last minute as well. So anyway, we're back and Eric is here today. We're going to be talking about Superman Lois, which we're definitely going to have a lot to talk about. And I'm very excited about that. And also we're going to be talking about the Flash trailer. So as I said to Eric before the stream, it's a really good week to come back because there's so much to talk about. And if you guys want to participate in our conversation about Superman Lois and the Flash's new trailer, please be sure to send in super chats. You can send them in by clicking the $sign on the chat, and that's how you can get your questions answered by me and Eric. We'll pop them up on the stream like this, and we'll be sure to, go over them and stop what we're doing and try and keep it on topic, but like it's okay if you keep them a little bit off topic. But yeah, also should be back on the after party. I see someone saying that should be next week. Yeah, I got plans tomorrow, so that's annoying. I'm filming a music video, which I'm excited about, but anyway.
Is it a music video for a Supergirl? Is that what it is?
No, I actually don't know who it's for, but like,
oh, okay.
But a friend is working on it, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to help out?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." Like, I barely do music videos. I mean, you're probably interested in that because music, DJ Eric, or whatever. But yeah, welcome to everyone who is joining the live stream right now. We got DC World Reviews. Robert Blake, Vera is here. What's up, Vera? Jamie, Captain Addy, Zion, and Cal, a member of the channel. And yeah, so welcome back, everyone, and welcome back to Eric. Let's start off with Superman and Lois, because like I said, we have a lot of stuff to talk about in today's stream, especially in regards to Superman and Lois. So before we go into specifics or anything, let's get your overall thoughts, and that includes you guys in the chat. Tell us, what did you think of this week's episode and the last couple of episodes? Because I haven't been able to talk to you guys about it. I haven't been able to talk to Eric properly about it as well. So last 3 episodes and this episode, overall thoughts.
I'm actually really happy with the show right now. It's one of those shows where, like with Stargirl, where I feel like the people that are writing it sort of understand what they're doing. They have a vision for what they're making, and they're committed to doing the best version of that.
Yeah.
And I think Superman and Lois has shown that they care about these characters, especially Lois Lane, who gets some of the best scenes on the series easily. There's a couple of slow things. I'm not too happy with the storyline with Lana Lang, the Meryl storyline. Yeah. I have a feeling it's going to go somewhere, but I'm just not big on politics in general. So it's not a very interesting story for me, but I think it's fine. I mean, it's not unneeded, it's not unnecessary or whatever, but I think it's okay. I'm just not too interested in it. That's probably the weakest thing for me. Yeah, right now. Yeah. But I think, I have a feeling that storyline is going to tie in with the Gazette. I think it's all going to sort of come together. So we have that going on. And then we have some pretty big stuff with the kids this season. Jonathan, his storyline is going to get pretty dark, I think.
That's going to get crazy.
So that's quite interesting. Then we have the stuff with Jordan, who now seems to be in a little bit better control of his powers, which I think is quite interesting. And dealing with the stuff that's going on with Sarah, who's also having some things in her life that are changing as well. So I think all that's interesting. It's more interesting for me this season than it was last season. I really wasn't invested in with the kid storyline. It was way too like just typical high school drama stuff. And I didn't like that. I think this season they're more interesting, and I think they're pushing it a little bit. I actually think that as much as I like the storyline with Jordan and Sarah, I think Jonathan's storyline, if it's going to be dealing with addiction and stuff like that, I think that's going to be pretty heavy for the show. And I really like the direction of that. I think Clark and his connection with this big reveal this week they did a great job of building up to it. They took just enough time to say there's something going on into like, this is what's happening.
Yeah.
And I think that's perfect. We've talked about this with The Flash and lots of other shows. Mystery is good, but you have to know how to do it and when to have the reveal happen. And I think we're 3 episodes in. We're in a good spot in the season right now. This was a quick reveal, but I think that means we're going to have some really exciting stories with these characters. And so I'm really, really excited with just the momentum of Superman and Lois right now.
And do you have any sort of nitpicks apart from Lana Lang overall in the first 3 episodes?
Okay, I do have something. So one thing that I've praised the show for over the last year is the special effects, the VFX.
Yeah.
I've noticed in this season, and I don't know if it's because they're just not capable of doing it or if it's because of how rushed the production has sort of been to get the show back out. But there's been a couple of weird like special effect things that have happened. There's been some green screen issues here and there. Nothing atrocious, nothing that's like this is awful, it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Supergirl.
But just but just not up to the level of like Superman and Lois. I think the opening scene from the first episode with Superman lifting up the sub was an amazing shot. I think even this week with him in space, like listening to sounds and stuff, that was a great shot. But then we also had a really wonky scene with John Henry and his costume.
When he jumped into his suit.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit, it started out strong and then it got a little weird and then it was okay again because we know there's a practical version of that suit. But the one that they used when he jumped into it felt a little bit like the Lexo suit from Supergirl. So I didn't like that part. But outside of that, the stuff with the reveal, the special effects of that character, which I don't want to spoil it yet, but the special effects of that character were really good. So I think my biggest nitpick this season would be I'm not too keen on the Lana Lang story. I want to see where that goes. And the VFX CGI just hasn't been as strong. But everything else I think I've really enjoyed. So
yeah, that's interesting to hear because I definitely am like fully into it. I thought this week's episode was really strong. But I've had a couple of nitpicks, which I'll bring up because it's very relevant to this episode. And I want to get your thoughts on it specifically because it's something that's been bugging me for like the last 2 weeks since it was first brought up. But I'm going to get to that. So I'm not going to spoil that right now. But overall, I noticed a couple of CGI shots were a bit shabby here and there. But overall, I was impressed that it didn't drop like crazy, you know, like... I don't know, because you expect like season 2, they normally don't give them like a bigger budget. And I mean, technically, maybe they put more effort into season 1 because it's the start of the show. They want to impress people, get people on board. So I'm very impressed with the standard, keeping it up to that level. And I think overall, like pretty much everything apart from a few nitpicks is on season 1 standard, and I don't think it's dipped at all. Like it's level playing field. It's like they shot this right after or something.
Well, the other thing we have to remember is that even with Superman and Lois having a little bit of weaker visual effects, it's still better than all the other shows.
Yeah.
So like me complaining about the visual effects is just like I'm noticing a slight dip from their level, but their level is so much higher than everyone else's.
I mean,
It's like,
we used to sock puppet Barry like quite often, right?
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, okay. So before we get into our specific thoughts about episode 3, Canada Grass has sent in a super chat. Thank you very much, Canada Grass, for the 5 Canadian. And Canada Grass says, "Will the Flash be delayed later than March? Do you think this is Gary? This could be Gary. I don't know.
It could be Gary.
Also count Canada Grass. Somehow confirm it's you. Send a photo of some Coke or something. But yeah, is it gonna get delayed, Eric?
If Gary comes in and asks this question again, I think 100% it'll be delayed later than March. So let's fingers crossed that we don't get that.
Fingers crossed Gary doesn't show up. Oh my god. But thanks for the super chat.
I want to address something in the chat. This is something people said on my video. Robert Blake there. So on my provider, I watch with subtitles because I like to see, like, sometimes you don't hear things correctly. And so I watch with subtitles. In the scene at the end of the episode, when Lois is at the diner, off screen, because the shot originally starts, you don't see the woman, you see from the neck down. It said, "Mom," comma, and then the text, right? So when she said that, I was like, is this another reveal? Is this supposed to be...
Why did it say mum?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know why it said that. I do have my theories for why. There was another mistake in the episode as well when I went back and watched it. Like the
Really?
subtitles were wrong. Yeah. So I thought that was another twist because I'm like, this is Lois's actual mother. Like I thought that was what they were getting at, but apparently it's not. Apparently it was just a incorrect subtitle. Or the other thing I'm wondering is when they said mom, did they mean like mother of the cult?
Yeah.
Like she's the mother of the cult, maybe.
Oh, is that supposed to be? Because I saw Paige's. I didn't watch Paige's review, but he said like the Superman, right? Is that what you're referring to? A cult?
No, no. So earlier in the episode, Lois is watching a video from like the 80s, right? That shows like this woman talking in a room, and it's like a teacher teaching lessons or whatever. And this is going to be like a cult storyline that's going to move forward. And so that's the person at the end of the episode, right? But on my TV, it said mom. So I was thinking that there was a twist that we're going to find out that somehow this is
like her mom's involved in a cult,
right? Yeah. But apparently it was either
an error.
It was an error in the subtitles, or maybe in the cult she's referred to as mother.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to reveal like who it was off screen, so they just put mom. I don't know. It's weird. So when I did my review, that's how I referred to her, but it was because that was what the subtitle said. So apparently that's incorrect. So I'm just gonna be like, I don't know what to say. So yeah.
Anyway. Well, we're gonna get to that in a minute because that's part of my notes. But Nathan Bell, member of the channel, great help. We got an announcement to make later in the live stream. He sends in a $17.99 super chat. Thanks so much, Nathan.
No question. Okay.
No, but Nathan is like one of my most active followers, and he helps me out a lot with my member stuff. So, I appreciate you, Nathan. You're awesome. Thanks so much for supporting like this. I really do appreciate it. And if you have any questions, send it in and we'll answer it. Because supporting on that level was crazy. So thanks, Nathan. Quickly, Cal Roswell says, when do you think Jordan will tell Sarah his secret? Okay, so let's jump into that, right? Considering that Cal was asking this question, that's one of my notes. Jordan and Sarah and their story. So right now, we just had in this episode them come together. He gives her his grandmother's necklace. Pretty much means they're going to stick around together for a while.
Right.
What are your theories in regards to, is he going to tell Sarah the secret, or is he going to wait the year?
100%.
Like
100% he's going to tell her.
Yeah.
And I just feel like regardless of whether or not what Clark says makes sense, because the reality is that there's always been this discussion, right? And they've mentioned it in the shows. When you keep a secret from someone and you say you're doing it on their behalf,
they're going to get mad.
They're going to get mad. But the other thing is they also don't have an opportunity to tell you whether or not they think that you should keep that secret from them. It's a really tough situation because say, for example,
Selena Luthor.
Yeah. So say, for example, I knew that if I told you that I was a vigilante, that it would be putting you in harm's way just from knowing me, right?
Yeah.
Say, for example, that was the case. And I decided I didn't want to tell you because I knew that it could possibly put you in that position. That takes the power away from you on whether or not our relationship should not change. Because if I were to tell you that and you go, okay, well, now I'm not going to say anything to anyone, I'm going to keep it a secret or whatever, then that means that I have to trust you enough to know that you would not say anything. Because just me telling you, right, does not change the threat level for you. You see what I'm saying? Like a villain may not know that you know who I am. So that would be me assuming that you're going to tell someone else and they're going to find out that you know.
Yeah.
So what Clark is saying does make sense, but it also means that you don't trust the person that you're with, which is why now that Lois and the kids know, it's one of those things where he's taken that step to rectify that. I don't think the kids have totally forgiven him for this, by the way. I think that there's still some trauma with them like knowing their father, lied to them for like 14 years. But
Yeah.
I think in this situation, if you don't tell someone else, ultimately they're going to feel like Jordan said, he knows how this feels to be on the other side of this, that you did not trust them. And I think that's the biggest issue here. So I think 100% Jordan is going to tell Sarah, and it is going to be a problem because I think Sarah is going to say something to someone else. That's what I think is going to happen because Jordan wants to trust her so much. But then there's also the possibility they come across a villain with mind control powers or telepathy or whatever, telekinesis. Not telekinesis, telepathy, and they can read their mind or whatnot. But you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like he's going to think he thinks he can trust her. He's going to tell her, and then something's going to happen, and then he's going to realize that he made a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. No, I'm literally disagreeing. Like, I don't have much else to add on that because you pretty much hit it. But thanks so much, Cal, for sending in the super chat, and once again, shout out to Nathan. Okay, let's move on. Right, we're going to talk about the thing that I have been nitpicking in my brain for like the last couple of episodes. So you just brought up something, and I had no idea what you were talking about. And this is in regards to the cult, right?
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to ask you, and this is a big thing. Do you understand that storyline that they're setting up with Lucy and Lois? And what do you make of, the Lucy retcons from Supergirl? Because she's a completely different character in Supergirl. She was like a badass. She worked for the DEO. She had maybe
we're in post-crisis now, so I guess they're retconning all of that.
I know, but it just feels okay. So my nitpick is, to me, it feels very forced because I've seen Lucy. I watched this past version, and I know I should get over it, and I think I will get over it. But the reason to me I kind of don't buy it is because I've seen that before, and I'm like, okay, now Lois is talking about this, but it doesn't feel very real to me. That's like one nitpick. And my other thing is, I genuinely don't understand. Like, I didn't know it was about a cult or anything. I know, Lucy had some troubles in the past with her friend, Allie, I think. And Allie nearly endangered Lucy to nearly killing her, and someone else died. And that's about it. Like, I really don't know anything else. I don't know.
But this is why I said that I had an issue also with the Lucy or with the Lana storyline, because I feel like it's right now doesn't feel connected enough to me.
Because it just comes up every once in a while, and I'm like, oh, what, we're doing this? Like, and I just can't take it.
I understand that. I'm less attached to Lucy as a character. I don't mind that they're changing it up a little bit. I think the biggest issue that a lot of people would have is that it's almost like an erasure of her from Supergirl, because
it's a complete erasure.
Right. Because they're not acknowledging that was ever a thing. I mean, we are post-crisis, but the reality is without Supergirl or anyone from Supergirl being there other than Superman, there's no one there to sort of even acknowledge that there was another version of Lucy or that she was ever different from this, because none of them would even know, really.
But I just feel another thing is because Lucy was so connected to James. And James is supposed to be Superman's best friend, and they haven't even referenced James once this season.
Which is also weird, because I feel like, so this is one of the things I want from this season, and I know this is it's a departure from your comments here, but I just want to put this out there. I feel like that we need to establish that Superman and Lois is part of the Arrowverse.
Yeah.
It needs to be done. And I don't mean like a comment here or there. I mean, we had the Diggle thing from last season, but we need something more solid that shows that because even people still question whether or not that's the same Diggle. And I'm like, it is, but it's hard to see that when so many things on the show don't line up with things that happen with some of the other shows and things like that. And I talked to Paige about this. I don't know if it was during the after party or maybe off stream, but I was asking him, like, what happened to all of the stuff that happened to Superman earlier? Like all of his villains, all the people that he faced off against, are they just gone? Are they locked up? Like, where are some of these villains at? Because we're seeing him face people now, but he was Superman for like a decade or more. Time. 20 years. So that's another thing I have. And a lot of that might have to do with Crisis. And maybe we just have to accept
Yeah,
that. I don't know. But yes, the cult story with Lucy and Lois, and then the stuff with Lana, it's not, they need to do a better job of incorporating that with the rest of the show and making it more
yeah.
obvious, I
I
think.
just feel like it's very the way that they've told it so far, and maybe it's just me like complete. Maybe it's just going over my head or something.
Mm.
But I feel like it's quite mysterious and cryptic. Yes, they're doing it on purpose to make it like they're anticipating revealing Lucy and
Yeah.
going into the details. But I feel like we need more details. Like it just mainly because it came absolutely out of nowhere. We never had a reference to this podcast and to what happened in the past.
Right.
And then the fact that, Chris, the thing that annoyed me in one of the earlier episodes, I don't know if it was episode 1 or 2, but just like when Chrissy was there, she was like watching the podcast and it was something about like cancellation or something. And, it's relevant. I do like that they bring up relevant themes like on Supergirl, but then she brings up like, oh, someone's talking about you and about this thing from the past, and you're like, okay, fine, like, sure, something from the past, and maybe blah blah blah. But and then since then, like, I don't know, it's just like I feel like they've done a bad job explaining it is my thing, and I just really haven't understood it at all. But that's like my one problem with this season. I don't know if I can see maybe have some problems and obviously not as much, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm in the kind of like I just don't know anything about what's going on there.
Yeah, so the cult thing wasn't very clear to me in anyway. Like
Yeah.
at the end when that woman shows up and they said mom, the reason why it didn't even connect to me that it was just a cult thing was the fact that I don't even really understand what's going on with that story.
Yeah, that's
Like I
what I mean.
don't. So for me, when people were saying, "Oh, that's the cult lady," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, it is," but I didn't put it together because I'm like, well, it said mom. That first of all confused me. Secondly, I don't think the show is doing a really good job of explaining what that is.
No, it's not.
So
It
yeah,
wasn't a
so
big deal like they thought it was.
right.
You know?
So I think next episode we're possibly going to get much more because
I
now
hope so.
Lois is talking with her.
Yeah.
So, and I just want Lucy to be there. I think one of the biggest issues is she's not there.
They just keep
She's
on
not on.
referencing her
Yeah.
like she's some
Right.
sort of ghost.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think if they had her in episode 2 or something like that, and they introduce her, be like, oh yeah, you remember this thing from the past, and she backs up what Lois and what these
Right.
reports are saying, because right now we're literally just listening to one person saying, oh yeah, this happened in the past, and as Arrowverse fans, we know Lucy, so that's like another thing that we have to overcome, but also they're not explaining it that well. And the fact that Lucy's not there, I think.
So let me ask you. I want to ask you another question in regards to Lucy before we move on, because this is kind of a thing. So Lucy was on the show in season 1 in Supergirl, and
Just
that was it.
season
And then she
one.
was
Yeah.
gone. Why do you think they're like playing this big secretive game about bringing her back as the same person? Because most people, like the people that are watching this, may not even know who she is.
Mhm.
Because people that watch Superman and Lois aren't necessarily people that watch all of the Arrowverse. I know a lot of people that watch the show that just watch Superman and Lois. They know it's connected, but they don't care too much about it. But they're treating this reveal like it's Linda Carter or something. It's really weird. Like, just bring her back.
Like Wonder Woman showing up, yeah.
Yeah.
Or like Supergirl showing up or something,
Yeah. This is a character that wasn't on Supergirl once it moved to the CW and hasn't been on Supergirl since the first season.
It's been a long time since maybe her last appearance was 2016, and it's 2022 now. That's 6 years ago, at least, since we last saw her.
So just bring her in. Like, we don't need all these like secrets.
It doesn't need to be such a long thing, and it's not like she's suddenly turning out to be the villain or something.
Right.
It's not a big reveal like what happened in this episode with Doomsday. So yeah. Anyway, that's just my little rant about that. Bit confused. You kind of explained it a bit more for me. I feel like I understand a bit more, but still I
don't even understand it that
problems.
well. So
yeah, exactly. So that kind of emphasizes the point. I still have big problems with it, but that's my main issue with the season. Okay, so I see Nathan commented a question, and I promised that I would answer one because Nathan sent in the super chat. So let's answer this quick and then we'll go to the next topic. So
All right.
do you guys think, along with what Ben's theory was about the X-Kryptonite and Jonathan now taking, you need to have watched my video, I'll explain it if not, the XK could manifest his Kryptonian powers, could the XK be the thing that makes Bizarro into Doomsday? So I'm not sure about Bizarro into Doomsday, but basically my theory was in my review the other day, and I'll explain it because
I saw it, but I think you might want to do it for the chat.
yeah, I presume not everyone in the chat maybe watched the video. So my theory was this. So with Jonathan about to take the X-Kryptonite, we're pretty damn sure that he's going to take it. I don't think he's not. He's going to get temporary powers or become more strong, or, you know, the way that X-Kryptonite affects people. Like, you've seen it on his teammate recently. You know, he was really jealous of him and he's becoming like a top athlete. And temporarily, Jonathan is going to be better at everything, probably more stamina, more strength, more everything. And my theory is that with Jonathan taking X-Kryptonite and literally sort of inhaling, you know, Kryptonian related stuff, I feel like there's a chance it might ignite the Kryptonian DNA within inside of him, ignite his powers, and maybe that could be a way that he eventually gets powers. That's just a theory. Again, that could be completely wrong. But what do you think about that, Eric?
Well, I've got several theories about Jonathan, and I'll probably make some videos about it, or maybe even talk about it live completely, but I'll talk about some of them here. I have, like I said, I have several of them. One could be, like you said, maybe it'll awaken the latent Kryptonian DNA in his system or something like that and make him like Jordan, basically. The other thing is he could take it and then he finds out that, of course, his parents aren't approving of it. And his dad tells him he shouldn't do it. But
no. It's the end days. Gary's here, and he asked the question.
Oh no! Oh no! Anyway,
crap.
So, what if, just by chance, Jonathan does it, that his parents find out, he runs away because he doesn't want to be told that he can't do it, and he's like, "I'm just going to get out of here," or whatever, and he goes to Tal Row to try and get training for his powers, breaks him out and tries to get training for his powers,
and he goes evil.
I mean, there's a possibility.
Oh my
God. That's one thing.
That is a good theory, Eric.
The other one is, what is Superman dealing with right now that is such a big deal with him that he's standing on his convictions? That's the military and the super kids. What if Jonathan doesn't get trained by him, so he goes to the military to get trained by them and becomes one of the super kids? That's just two of them. I've got like five of them, but there's so many possibilities for this. And then there's, of course, just the addiction storyline. It's quite possible that maybe they just take it in a direction of, like, he takes it, he starts getting good at school, his parents notice that he's getting good at school, and they don't find out right away. And then towards the end of the season, they find out he's been juicing on XK, and that's a problem. Maybe he doesn't tell his brother. Maybe Jordan does know, and he doesn't say anything to their parents. I mean, there's so many possibilities for the storyline, which is why I think it's such a good storyline.
I agree. I think there's a lot of possibilities right now. And man, I don't know. Those theories are really good. I'm just trying to take them in and trying to think about it, because I don't know what, like, I 100% believe, but I believe that this storyline in some way is going to lead towards him becoming more
Superboy.
Like Jordan.
Well, here's another thing. What if Jordan finds out he's doing it and they get in a fight with each other, and they're fighting like powered up, like against each other? Like, there are so many directions that this could go, that the possibility of double Superboys on the show sound really cool to me.
It sounds cool to me as well. I would love that. That would be awesome. But okay, so let's move on. And just before we move on to the super chats, I'm going to bring up what I mentioned earlier. So this is for you guys who regularly watch the channel, and obviously you guys know that we have our members, and what our members get is we do a monthly Zoom members call, and so that's obviously exclusive. However, one of our members, Nathan, has come up with a very good idea that we're going to sort of test run. for the next few months. So every month we're gonna do a kind of quiz at the end of like most videos, and it's going to be a way for maybe one of you guys to join the members Zoom call for like a month and join in with us. So, and without having to pay or be a member or anything like that. And so it's a kind of trivia, and I like trivia. Eric likes trivia. So I'm going to bring something up on the screen right here just to introduce it, because I haven't talked about it yet. And I said I would, because, this is something that we've been talking about doing for a while. But yeah, so every month we're going to bring up an image, and this image is going to be from one of the Arrowverse shows. And the quiz is pretty simple, and it's basically you have to come up with, what episode this is in, what they were talking about, and if you can do that, and we'll sort of iron out the details around that, you can join our monthly members Zoom call for that 1 month, and it's just a way to include other people who say can't afford to support the channel every month, and just to involve some other people in what we do. So I appreciate everyone who's a member, but I also appreciate everyone who watches the videos. So that's just something that we're working on, and it might change, it might be different, but for now, this is the image, and get thinking. Don't type it up online if you can, but obviously we're not going to check. Okay, so thanks to Nathan and for sorting that out. He's the one that came up with this, and we might change the quiz, or we might change the trivia down the line, but that's it for now. I just wanted to talk about that. But
I know what episode it's from, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
I don't know. We'll see. Is it the Olicity episode? Is it the first Olicity kiss? Is it when they get married? Who knows? But okay, let's go over.
It's the Legends crossover episode. Just kidding.
I don't know. Download Zoom, then Canada Graphs. Maybe you can join. All right, Team Forward, $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He says this season is way better than last season. Do you agree, Eric? I think it's pretty much the same.
I don't think either one of them are. Well, first of all, we're only 3 episodes in, so there's no way to determine that for me personally. But I'll say right now it's about the same for me. I don't really see any difference in the quality, or because we got a big surprise around the same time last season with Lex Luthor. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of following the same path right now, which is fine, but we'll see where it goes.
And we're going to get more reveals later down the line, because someone created Bizarro, guys, and we're going to talk about that later. But Cal sends in a 99-cent super chat. Thank you very much, Cal. I appreciate the support. And also, as we referenced, Gary is here, and he asked the destined question. So for Gary, who missed,
I guess this means 100% that it is now, because I said if he comes in.
Yeah, Eric said if Gary shows up and asks this question, because Canada Graphs asked this question earlier, The Flash is 100%
R.I.P. The Dream comes out in April now.
It's coming out in April. April 1st is The Flash. It's the new date. Thanks, Gary. Thanks, Canada Graphs. That's our answer to your question. Eric was just, he summoned you. He was like, I want to delay The Flash, so let's get Gary in here.
Pretty much.
Okay, so the last super chat we're going over for now is Gary. He sends in another $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much. Gary says, "What is your Flash ranking?" So, can you do it off the top of your head?
Well, I just wrote it down because people ask this all the time, and I never remember because it's seasons.
You guys do it in the chat as well.
I'm not going to rank season 8 because we're only 5 episodes in season 8.
So excluding season 8, guys.
So for me, it would be 2, 1, 3, 7, 6, 4, 5.
What happened in season 6? Was
season
that the
6?
Eva?
Yes, it's the mirror storyline.
And last season was Godspeed, and I'm blanking. Who was the villain in the first half of last season?
Last season?
Yeah, season 7.
It was the Forces storyline.
Oh my! I forgot about it. That's how bad it was. I literally just forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
So season 2 was Zoom. Season 1 was Reverse Flash. Season 3 was Savitar, which I still stand by the fact that I think season 3 was good until like the very end of the season.
Yeah.
Season 7 was Godspeed and Forces storyline, which you forgot about. Season 6, the reason why season 7 and season 6 to me are side by side is because they're weirdly connected. Because the beginning of season 7 was basically season 6, the end of season 6. So those are interchangeable for me, but those would come there. 4 was your favorite season, obviously, with DeVoe.
Yeah, my absolute favorite.
And then 5 was Nora. And I put that at the bottom because I hate that season. So for me, the only ones that are kind of weird is 7 and 6, because I feel like 7 and 6 are connected together as one season because of the way COVID happened. So for me, even though those are like after, the first 3 seasons, I still put those in the middle. But 5 is absolutely 100% my least favorite season, easily. And I know 4 is probably your least favorite. So,
well, let's see.
Because you hated DeVoe, so go ahead.
Everyone, put your rankings in the chat right now. Is it 1? Is that your favorite? Is 4 your least favorite? Is 3 your least favorite? Let us know. My ranking is season 2 is my favorite, and it's I always say this, it's really close between season 1 and season 2, because I think quality wise they're neck and neck for me. Right, just like Superman and Lois right now. I
feel like the Flash seasons 1 and 2 are very interchangeable answers for people. So
I think so. And it's pretty rare that anyone thinks they're not the best 2, right? I feel like but season 2 beats 1 slightly, only because I loved Zoom so much. I genuinely think he is the scariest villain we've ever had, and I was genuinely
nothing is scarier than the scene with him running the Flash through the city.
That scene is what I'm exactly talking about. Like, that's one of the most memorable scenes on the Flash for a reason, right? And like, we explored the multiverse for the first time. We went to Earth 2. I remember when that episode came out, I was like losing my freaking mind. We had so much going on that was really good, and so that's why season 2 is my favorite. And then season 1, because it's freaking great. Reverse Flash, the first the pilot episode and everything, setting up the whole show is just so good. And I think a big thing, and we say this many times, like me and Eric have continually said this, mystery is good, especially when you pull it off right.
That's why I love the second season of The Flash.
This week's episode of Superman and Lois was really good. It had a great reveal. We're going to get to that reveal in just a bit. Sorry for prolonging it, but we will get there, and we'll talk about it a lot. But my number 3 pick is season 3. I love Savitar. I love that mystery. I genuinely was like, the whole way, I think everyone was like, oh my God, who is freaking Savitar? Like, I owe a lot to that.
I'm the future Flash.
I am the future Flash. But, I owe a lot to that season, because that was like where my channel kind of like took off, and I was like most involved, I feel like, in season 3, along with season 2.
And Savitar is very memeable, but the actual season is really good.
Yeah, I agree. There's a couple of like iffy episodes here and there. That's why it drops down a tiny bit. But overall, like, really good, I think, in my opinion. I know lots of people meme on Savitar and really don't like it, like Paigey, but Paigey's wrong.
Is it here, Paigey? You in the house?
Yeah, well, we'll see. He's definitely going to pop up if he heard that. And then my number 4 pick is season 5. I know that is an edgy pick, but I really do like season 5. I think it's really, really good when Reverse Flash comes. I love that stuff. And I personally love Nora. I know Eric hates Nora.
I don't like. I don't mind her now. Nora. Yeah, I like the new Nora. I didn't like
old Nora. I really love Nora, and I like that she stuck around for so long. Yeah, that's just like a personal thing. I liked it. And then going towards the final 3, it's hard for me because, like I said, I can't remember half.
You forgot the Forces storyline from last season.
I forgot the Forces storyline. All right, guys. Full disclosure, I do have a bad memory, so I will forget stuff every once in a while. But
So
like,
season
I
7 was.
completely blanked out. I was thinking season 7. I just couldn't.
Let
think
me
of it.
tell you, season 7, the first 3 episodes were the end of season 6, the Mirror Master
No, I remember
storyline.
that.
Then the Forces storyline. Then the 3 really bad interlude
3
episodes,
episodes.
except for the
Cisco one was
Cisco.
good.
Cisco one was pretty good, but the other 2 were really bad. And then the Godspeed
Yeah.
stuff. That was season 7.
And the Chester episode before, I really liked. I
I
remember.
didn't like that one, but I know you liked it.
I know you didn't like it, but the Cisco one was great, and we had like a couple really good episodes. Like Godspeed stuff was good, but at the end of the day, it was kind of a bit like, you know.
Let me
because
tell
it was
you
so
why I
short.
placed that so high on my list. I
What?
gave episode 2 a 10 out of 10. That was
Oh yeah,
that
I loved
episode
episode 2.
alone was so good. And I think the Godspeed stuff, even though it wasn't great, it was so much better than what we had over like the majority of the season. That's why I ranked it so high.
Yeah. So yeah, season 7 and season 6 are pretty much like kind of neck and neck for me.
They are.
Because I can't really decide. I kind of just like, I was writing it here and I was like, I can't decide because I really like some episodes in season 7, but it's also really poor at some points, especially with the Forces. Like, mom, dad, bro, sis. Like, oh my god, get out of my brain. Oh, it literally went from my brain.
But now I reminded you of it.
But season 6, Eva, I didn't really like her, but she was better than the Forces storyline at least.
Oh,
So I'll give
absolutely.
them that. But the reason season 6 is better is because I did like Bloodwork. I don't like him as much as you and a couple of other people. I know that. I don't think he's like a good villain. I think he's a okay villain. Like he was good. Like he was fine. Whatever. Like not.
I think
too
people
memorable.
forget that. I think people remember how cool it was to have Barry as the negative Flash.
That was cool.
That was kind of the only reason people. I'll be honest. That's one of the reasons I really like it. But other than that, he's probably mid. I just think the storyline was really good.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about Negative Flash, to be fair. So there you go. That kind of sums up my thoughts about those seasons. So pretty much neck and neck.
What's your
6 and
last one?
7.
What's your least favorite?
And my last one is, have a guess, season 4 of The Flash. Fuck.
You hated DeVoe. You hated that character.
Yeah, man, DeVoe, like, just so bad. I can't forgive anything. The one good episode was literally Flash Time, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like, I can't think of any other episode. Like, it's a blur because I just don't want to think about it. Like, I remember Flash Time. And
you don't remember the inflatable Flash suit that he got that could keep
oh
it
my
from
god,
missing
or
water?
the freaking marbles on the ground. Like, that's one that. And they introduced.
Keep in mind that this season happened after Savitar season.
It's crazy. And some
that made
people
it
like
even worse.
you think he's better.
That makes it even worse. It's the second to least favorite for me. The only reason 5 is worse is because I didn't deal with Nora the whole season, and I didn't like that version of Nora. So that's the only reason why.
And I have to say about 5, why it's not ranked higher is because I don't think Cicada was that strong.
No.
But I think the Reverse Flash story was really strong.
What do you think about Cicada 2.0?
No, I didn't like her either. I didn't like the villains. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think I liked any of the villains from season 5, 6,
jump away,
7.
Fly away, just all season long.
I think the villains in the Flash have been really weak recently. I think Bloodwork was okay. I think Godspeed could have been better. And those two are the only two.
Reverse Flash will always be the GOAT.
Of course, like I'm excluding Reverse Flash because he's not technically like the season-long villain. But this season, season 8, I loved Armageddon. I thought it was freaking awesome, and I loved the twist with Reverse Flash being behind it all. Like
so good. Reminded us why he's so good as the Flash villain.
Yeah. So already this season is better than season 6, 7, and 4 for me. But I'm not going to conclusively say. Because, we are only...
If I were judging... So in a hypothetical situation, if I were judging season 8 on my list right now, season 8 would probably be right after season 3 for me. Right now.
So number 4.
Yeah. Just based on the first 5 episodes.
Based on the first 5 episodes, I would probably say the same. I would say it's probably better than 5 for me. And season 5 is my number 4 right now. So...
Right.
Yeah, that's our rankings. Gary sent in his rankings. Thanks for the other super chat, Gary.
This is your error ranking.
Gary says, "Oh my god, we got to do Arrow as well. Eric, thank
Well,
you.
you didn't watch. You're not too keen on like all the seasons of Arrow, are you? Like you haven't watched everything, have you?
Yeah, I have. I've
Oh,
watched
okay.
everything, but
So
one season I hate.
so my Arrow, so my Arrow list is going to start out similar to my Flash list. 2-1-3. I like season 2 of Arrow the most. The first season was also really strong. Again, interchangeable. 3 would be the one that I think is solid in third place. Then it would be 5 because Prometheus is, yeah. Then I would go with season 8 because the first 4 or 5 episodes of season 8 were some of the best stuff that Arrow had done in a long time. The end of it was bad though. Then I would go season 6, season 7, and then in dead last would be season 4, which is the curse of season 4 when it comes to
season 4. Like Supergirl wasn't that good as well in season 4. That was the Agent Liberty stuff. Legends, absolute shocker. What else do we have that's season 4? Oh my god, please, Superman Lois, don't do a season 4. Oh my god, imagine. I can't imagine it.
We still have Batwoman season 4 coming up too, so
I'm not caught up with Batwoman. Like, so I need to catch up before season 4. That is our conclusion, right? to judge all the season 4s.
So anyway, but that's my error. I'm not going to go into too many details, but Deathstroke, I think that's everything that needs to be said for being the number 1 for me, season 2.
Okay, so I'm gonna give my ranking for Arrow. I wrote it out, but I need a reminder of what the frick happened in season 6.
You don't remember?
Richard
It was the dragons, yeah.
And what else?
And his minions. You don't remember all of that?
No,
and
I do remember.
Diggle wearing the Green Arrow suit. You don't remember any of that?
Oh yeah. No. I think
the
that
prison storyline.
Like, the prison storyline was really good, but then afterwards, for me, like I'm kind of forgetting. Like I think it's a sign when I forget. It's like I kind of didn't think much of it. Like it was, pretty okay. I didn't really love it, and then season 7 was like Crisis was good.
Pagey's in the chat.
I know he's in the chat. Flash Elite, Alpha Elite ranking. If
you the actual the prison storyline that you're thinking of, Ben, was the one from season 7, the first part of season 7.
What prison storyline are you thinking of?
The one with the villains that break out in season 6. The villain storyline.
Season 7 is where the Oliver one.
Right, that's why somebody in the chat just said it, and I wanted to remind you because I didn't know what you were thinking of. So you're thinking,
I was thinking of that.
You're thinking of when Oliver goes to prison and he's in there for like 5 episodes or 6 episodes or whatever.
Yeah. So Pagey's ranking is 1, 2. This is the Flash. So 1, 2, agreed. 4. Oh, what type of grass are you smoking, Pagey? Oh, is it like some sort of weird Australian shit? Oh my god.
That triggers you, doesn't it? That it's so high on the list.
Yeah. 6, 3. Wait, I can.
That's Savitar. He put the Savitar storyline towards the end.
He put Savitar not lost. I'm proud of you, Pagey. I'm proud, at least. I can say that, even though I'm mad that you put 4 so high. 7, then 5. I still don't understand why 5 is so low, but okay. Yeah, so my rankings, let's go to my Arrow rankings because I haven't said it yet. Number 1, it's season 5. Man, after season 4, and this gives you a hint at how I think about season 4, I was so ready for something good. And Prometheus was like the shit, like the bomb, as they would say. He was so good. I loved every episode.
So you're a Joss Segura stan, is that what you're saying?
I'm a stan. Yeah, like I saw him at Comic-Con. I think I went over to him. I was
also like, now we see why you're ranking it so high. You met him, so you're like, I'm gonna put him number 1.
Yeah. Let's see. Did I meet Nora? No, I haven't met Jessica Parker Kennedy yet. So no bias there yet. But yeah, season 5. If I rank my favorite episodes of all time, most of them are from season 5. And then they're also from my number 2 pick, season 1. Like, it's a classic. Like, it's so good. The pilot, I love going back to all these episodes, the Malcolm Merlyn stuff, the stuff with, the Queen's Gambit, just introducing Green Arrow as a whole, meeting Diggle for the first time. A lot of extremely great stuff. And I rewatched some of it recently, and it still holds up. I think it's really good. And then also season 2. Most people's favorite is actually season 2. What was your favorite?
My favorite is season 2. I love
Season
Deathstroke.
2,
So
because of Deathstroke. So for me, Deathstroke is so good. Like, he is my second favorite, like a close second favorite, but Prometheus just like took it way over for me. That's just my personal opinion. I love Prometheus, so I'm biased towards season 5. But then my next pick would be season 3. I know that it doesn't get like a super good rap, but I still kind of a little bit nostalgic to those earlier seasons, even though, you know, it wasn't that good. However, I would probably do it joint with season 7 because of the prison storyline, and also because of Crisis as well. And I know it's kind of a cheat to include Crisis, but it was a big deal in Arrow.
It's weird because I feel like Arrow season 6 and 7, even though they weren't dealing with the COVID thing, they have some connective stories that make it feel like the Flash seasons 6 and 7. Like,
yeah,
the way it works together.
Yeah. And then my next pick is season 6 because I didn't think it was bad. I just forgot half of it. I think it's quite forgettable. That's just my opinion. But one season that I remember for a freaking terrible reason is season 4. That is my last pick. It was atrocious. Damien Dark was so bad. I hated that storyline. I hated everything in that season. Like, I remember watching it and I was just like, by the end of the season, I was like, what the hell are we doing? Like, the one episode I liked was like the Constantine episode because I'm a Constantine fan.
And that kind of brought him into the Arrowverse too.
And that brought him into the Arrowverse, which is cool, but it's a shame Legends is trying to screw him up. So yeah, that's I hate season 4. That's my last pick. So I don't know if anything's that edgy. Season 5 over 2 and 1 edgy at all? Not really.
Not really. I mean, season 5 is really solid. I don't have an issue with that. Yeah, no issues.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna go over Paige's ranking in just a second, and we'll go back to Superman Lois, because we need to get back because we still haven't talked about the big reveal. But we've got a new member of the channel, Dwayne. How would you? Sorry if I'm.
I think it would just be Dwan
Davis. Well, thank you, Dwan, for joining the channel, and we'll be sure to add you to our members chat. We have it on Instagram, so please be sure to send in your Instagram in the chat, or contact me, or contact Nathan as well. He also has Instagram, because we can add you to the chat, and that's where we kind of coordinate when we do the Zoom calls. Also, Cal's been a member for 4 months, so thank you very much, Cal. Gary sent in a 99-cent super chat. Thank you for the support, Gary. Sorry, just quickly going through this because we are heading up to the hour mark, and we will probably go a bit over because we need to talk about the big ending. And we haven't even talked about the Flash. Oh my god. Like, how? Like, there's so much.
We have to squeeze it all in.
Yeah. Hi, Ben and Eric. I am the only Arrowverse YouTuber in Germany, and can we have a talk from the Arrowverse in general? The Flash season 4 is underrated. I don't agree with the Flash season 4 being underrated.
You don't?
But that's cool. Eric, please. But yeah, contact us via Twitter or something like that, and we can, have a chat. What do you think about the Arrowverse? And it's cool that you're the only one from Germany. So big up to you, Sherlock Wells, and thanks for the super chat. Okay, quickly, I just wanted to see Paige's thing because I missed it. Arrow Elite Alpha season ranking. If you disagree, yikes, once again. His number 1 is 2, then 1, then 5, then 8, then 3, then 7, then 6, then 4. Yeah, that's pretty good. Also, I forgot to mention 8. I'm stupid.
Yeah, you did forget.
We did that in 7. But
8 was actually really good up until the last 3 episodes.
Yeah, like so I'm just changing it. Like, I don't know why I didn't include that. So it's 5, 1, 2. I'm gonna change 7. I'm gonna put 7 before 3. I'm gonna change it. So 5, 1, 7, 3, 8, 6, 4. That's my ranking. And yeah, I mean, Pages one's good because season 4 is lost. So we agree on that at least. Okay, let's move on and talk about the Superman Lois reveal. Finally, wow, what a reveal! What a way to start or to end episode 3. Like, it wasn't even right at the end. Like, it was like 3/4 away into the episode. And so we were all led to believe, and I think it's very smart by the showrunner to come out publicly and reveal, oh, it's Doomsday, right? And so we're like, oh, it's Doomsday, Doomsday, Doomsday. And he comes out of the mines. He's in some sort of like hazmat kind of exosuit like Lex Luthor, but huge. And you're like, okay, so underneath there's going to be like Doomsday or something, like kind of smaller version of Doomsday. And, you know, John Henry Irons shows up, solar blasts him, rips part of his mask open, and you see like an eye. You see the blue eye, and you're like, And then there's like one shot where it's like face on when like Superman's looking, and you're like, holy crap, that's Tyler Hoechlin. That is him. And so we're like, our brain instantly goes Bizarro, right? Or evil Superman. Is this John Henry Irons' Superman, right? Or a new version of Superman? And so, yeah, that reveal was absolutely crazy. So it is Bizarro. He has a reverse costume. He has blue glowing eyes. He has like some sort of necklace. I don't know what that is specifically. Maybe you do. We'll talk about that in a second. But it's obvious he's been down there for a while, and someone definitely created him because they have a link, and the link probably is Superman's DNA. Probably that somehow by creating Bizarro, there is a connection between the two of them, so they both have their headaches. And actually, if you reverse the footage, and some people did, thank you to those guys online, what he says at the end of the episode is home when he gets to the fortress, so that's interesting. And when he was facing off against Superman and they both had the headache, he said, leave me alone. So, thoughts, Eric? The big part of the episode.
Yeah. They got us, didn't they? I mean, this was another Lex Luthor moment. I felt like it was so obvious to like fans of Superman that this was going to be Doomsday.
Yeah.
There was even mentions of it in interviews that seemed
And in
to
the episode before,
confirm that it was Doomsday. And they got us again, just like they got us with John Henry Irons. And I know I saw a lot of people that were upset about the twist. But as much as I would love to see like an actual Doomsday, they played this in such a way where it's like, I like to be surprised.
Yeah,
I like these kinds of things. So for me, this twist, which led into a Bizarro, is cool to me. Because it doesn't mean that if we get Bizarro later, it's not going to follow the same comic book storyline. Probably. Maybe. Does that mean that Bizarro is going to turn into Doomsday? People would hate that. If Bizarro turned into Doomsday, people would hate that. So I don't think that is going to happen.
Comic accurate, right?
Right. So I think for me, this kind of elevated the show again, because they introduced something that's I didn't think we would ever get. The backwards talking that you have to reverse the scene.
Yeah.
Understand what he's saying. That's a little wild. I don't know if they're going to do that every week, but and I like seeing the trailers and the previews of him like walking around with the ripped up cape and stuff. It looks so good.
It looks so good.
I'm just ready for this. I'm ready to see what's going to happen. I don't know, we had a Bizarro Supergirl, but that was a completely different situation.
Yeah.
So how are they going to make this make sense after that?
Could it be Lex Luthor?
Post-crisis? I don't know. I don't know, but I like the twist, and I think this is really well done because they got us all. And I like being surprised. When I make theories, I don't strive to be right. I just try to come up with the most logical way it could go. And then if they manage to do something that's completely different from anything that I thought about, I love it. I would have never guessed this was Bizarro. Never guessed this. So
I would have never guessed it. I like I said earlier, I love mystery. I love those surprises, and this was one that I did not expect. I went crazy. I was like, what the hell? Like, I'm really bummed that I didn't watch this straight away because basically it was Tuesday night and I just got back and I was like working because I'm in my final year at university and I was like doing this essay and I was like, Superman Lois is on, right? And I freaking missed it. It was like halfway through the episode and I was like, God damn, like frick. And then I tried to avoid spoilers. I saw like one shot of like the ripped mask, but I didn't see who it was. And so it was still a surprise. But I can imagine, like, I wish I watched it straight away because, that would have been like going in completely blank. So yeah, I love the reveal. I thought it was awesome. What do you make of the the thing around his neck? Do you think that's important? It seems important.
So
right?
I don't know if anybody knows. I was looking at it again. I just pulled up a picture of it. The only time I've ever seen it in the comics is when it says Bizarro's #1 or something like that.
I remember that.
I don't know what the actual what the powered version means. Like, I don't know for sure. So if there's some connection in the comics that leads into that, I'm not totally aware of it. But I just double checked. I looked at it again from the show just to see, and it's definitely prominent. It's something, but I'm not sure what it is. So
yeah, we'll have to wait and see. And I'm very excited about this. I'm even more excited about finding out who is behind Bizarro. How was he locked in the mines? Like,
and what was he doing in that suit? What was he doing in that suit too? Like, I don't understand. Like,
exactly. Like, someone created the reverse of Superman, have been planning this for a while. That guy has been suffering down there for a while. You can tell because he's like, leave me alone in reverse. So it's interesting that they're introducing him not as a straight up villain, but also a bit more sympathetic, like they normally do in the comics. At the end of the day, Bizarro is forced to be like he is, right? And he's normally created by someone. So I wonder who is the person creating him and why did he end up down in the mines? And we're going to get those reveals not straight away because, it's mystery. And I think Superman Lois has done a really good job.
Are you ready for this mystery? Are you ready for this one?
I'm ready. I'm super ready. I think it's great. And I love that finally with Superman Lois, we're getting good villains. Like I said earlier, the Flash, I don't think has had a good villain, barring Reverse Flash showing up. Really, Godspeed was pretty cool, but he was so short. It wasn't a big deal at the end of the day. Supergirl hasn't had a good villain since Reign, probably. Arrow.
How many seasons ago was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Like 3-4 seasons ago. Arrow, did they have any good villains since Prometheus, really? Like, some solid ones, I guess, but nothing too good. I guess the Anti-Monitor, but he wasn't even, like, that good at the end of the day. Right. The Monitor was more interesting, I think. And I know he's not a villain. But, yeah, I just can't remember, like, the last time we had a good villain. Maybe it was Reign. I don't know. What do you think? Are you along the same lines, or do you really like someone?
Well, I think the longer a show goes on, the harder it is to make good villains, which is why I think Prometheus was kind of an anomaly for Arrow.
Oh, for sure.
Because he came in after they had a rough season. Yeah. Kind of redeemed.
He saved the show, literally.
Yeah, pretty much. And so, I think Superman has such a so you think about like Superman, what other characters in the DC Comics world have really great, memorable villains? Superman is one of them. He has a ton of villains you could use. Batman's another, which is why Arrow used so many of Batman's villains because of the fact that there's such a huge library. The Flash also has a great gallery of rogues, but most of them have been used as villains of the week, or they've been used in different ways, like Captain Cold and Heatwave. They went over to Legends, so they couldn't really use them again. So there is an issue with that with some of the shows. Supergirl, on the other hand, in the comics, shares a lot of villains with other people. She doesn't have a lot of her own villains, so that made it a little bit difficult. Batwoman is in a very similar
Batman
position
villains,
where she just kind of shares villains in Gotham because that's what her story is. So I hope that Superman and Lois continues to push with these like really iconic Superman villains. But come like season 4, season 5, are we still going to have access to like all of these great villains? Or are we just going to have to go back and pick someone that we've already done?
Yeah.
Well,
one person I would like to go back to is Lex.
Yes, and I think
I really hope that is the connecting factor to Supergirl, that John Cryer shows up at some point. I'm not saying this season.
If John Cryer doesn't show up, considering he was Lex post-crisis, that would be really weird.
Yeah, and I would be mad.
Yeah,
as hell.
And the thing is, I think a lot of people want Lex to be connected with this Doomsday / Bizarro storyline, but I think I'm gonna early prediction on the mystery.
Okay, all exclusive right here.
Is that the government did this?
That is very possible.
That's what I think. I think the government, because the suit that he's in does not look Kryptonian. It looks like something the government would do. Dr. Faulkner was there and says that, it's even more powerful than we thought. So I think that the government did this. Honestly, I don't think it's Lex. I don't think it's Cadmus. I think it's 100% the government, and they're trying to create their own Superman because they have the super kids now. I think this was this is something they started a long time ago, probably under General Lane's direction, to create this Superman that is going to be Bizarro.
Yeah, and this, like I said before, this Bizarro person, this alternate version of Superman, has been down there for a while. Yeah. Like, he's not new. He knows, he's been trained. He knows what home is. He's been suffering in pain, at least for a while, because he wouldn't be that desperate that he would, try and beat him up and, escape. He's been escaping, essentially. And it seems that the government, is finally letting him out. I don't know why. Maybe to take down Superman. I don't know if that's the thing, because he's not agreeing with
I think they're doing it because Superman refuses to join them.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
So could that be the reason? Is this their clone version? Is this America's Superman that has supposedly gone wrong? Maybe. Like a slightly...
Or it could have been a Kryptonian project that they found, and they've been manipulating it since they found it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Paige pretty much hits.
Well, yeah, this is what I think the most likely answer is, but they don't always go with the likely stuff. Sometimes they do different stuff.
Yeah,
but
I'm pretty sure something like
this is the most logical thing. The government is doing this. That's the most logical thing to me.
Yeah. Come on, that's. I think it's going to be really good, and I definitely think something.
You know why he talks in reverse? Because they reverse engineered Superman.
They literally did reverse him. And I'm wondering, did you go back and watch when he was talking? Did they actually reverse his mouth? Was Tyler...
Oh, I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it. But yeah.
Because I'm curious about that. Imagine having to go...
Yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Because otherwise it might look weird. Or did they film everything? Did they reverse everything?
Well, I feel like they could have easily just reversed him talking normal and put that in the shot.
Yeah. Probably just dubbed it.
Yeah, probably.
Now, I'm just curious, if anyone's good at reading lips, if it's actually in reverse. That's just a curiosity of mine. We have another super chat, a £2 super chat. Thank you very much. I have a theory: Doomsday created Bizarro. Eric, do you think? I don't think Doomsday's smart enough to do that. I definitely think it's someone with a scheme, and I think the government probably has a scheme.
Yeah, I don't see... I think the idea of Doomsday being on the show now is gone. I don't think we should even be going down that direction.
Yeah, that was a decoy. I have to admit, because we were all so adamant, we were sure it's Doomsday, and we were like, oh, why would the showrunner reveal this? It's a bit anticlimactic if he's going to reveal it in episode 1. He did an interview, and then, he finally comes out 2 episodes afterwards. You're like, oh, it's Doomsday, yay! But we kind of knew it. But because he said that, no one expected it.
This
No
do
one
not believe Todd Helbing from now on. Anything he says,
Yeah.
do not believe it at this
I
point.
think it's a good tactic when talking about villains. Like, I think they should all take on this, like all the showrunners. Okay, maybe that's controversial. Maybe some people will be annoyed, but I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
I was very happy to realize, oh, we just got lied to by the showrunner, and I thought that was cool.
People get so triggered by that, but I like when they don't tell us everything. So, I mean,
me too. Okay, Cal sends in another super chat, $1.99 super chat. Thank you very much, Cal. I really appreciate your support towards the channel, and also thank you to LFC STE9 for the £2 super chat as well. Okay, we have Gary sending in a super chat. He says, "Do you think the Flash will get a season 9 and the res?" I don't know what Gary's saying. Gary, clarify below. But we're going to take this time because we're over the hour mark to quickly talk about the Flash trailer, just general thoughts, and we'll answer Gary's question, and then we're going to call it quits here for now because we don't want to overextend too much. But Gary says, "Do you think the Flash will get a season 9? What do you think?"
I mean, I think it would be a big deal if they were not renewing it, because that's their biggest money-making show in terms of like live viewership as far as the Arrowverse goes.
And if the CW sells to that network, live viewers could be a big thing, right?
Well, it would be. So here's the deal. If they did not renew the biggest shows right now, they would lose their value, because the value is not in the CW. The value is in the shows that the CW has.
Yeah.
If
Imagine
you lose
if the
those
Flash
shows,
and Riverdale go right now.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Then what are you selling? What am I buying at that point? It would be like me going into like a restaurant to order food, and they go, "Well, we don't have our best food. We have our second best food.
Yeah.
Do you want to stay and eat?" No, I'd leave. I'd be like, "No, I don't want your second best. Why would I want your second best food?
I'll go to another restaurant.
Right. So
we'll go to HBO Max, whatever.
Yeah. So the value is in the contents on the network, not the actual network itself. So it would be in their best interest to renew their top 5 or top 10 shows, because they want the network to sell for a good value, and their value is in the Flash. So I would be absolutely shocked if they didn't renew it. It would be detrimental to them. It would probably cause them to have an issue of selling the CW if they did not renew the Flash.
Yeah. Maybe they wouldn't be deemed as worthy at all of even buying out. So, yeah, I think season 9 is going to happen. But let's quickly move on for our final topic of the live stream to talk about the Flash season 8, episode 6 trailer. I was expecting a trailer, but I wasn't expecting it this soon. Were you expecting it this soon?
No, and actually when it came out, I was like, is this just like a
I thought it was a
recap
or something.
But it actually had some new scenes in it with like Nora and Bart. And so I'm excited for it. I think I'm a little bit apprehensive because we just came off of this really good like 5-episode major event.
Yeah.
And going in now, we know we're going to get a few like interlude episodes. So I'm a little bit nervous, I'll be completely honest, but I love this version of Nora and I like Bart. So I am curious to see how they're going to make all this kind of make sense to us, because clearly they're doing things that their dad doesn't know about.
Yeah.
And it's going to change stuff again, probably. So I think they're going to create the next villain for the next little mini
I think they are
graphic novel. So,
and I mean, we're going to be dealing, hopefully they don't ignore it, but with Barry's timeline changes, right? There's definitely some changes there.
Yeah.
And with them zipping back and forth all over, remember we've had references in the first 5 episodes saying Nora and Bart keep on running back and forth.
Right.
They've caused some big changes, which are going to be revealed. And I definitely think they're going to lead into, whoever the villain is. But in regards to that, I just want to ask you one question. Why the hell is Barry letting them just...
Yeah, I don't know. And the other thing is that
That's why I saw.
No,
sorry,
I did not. No. So that's been the question about season 5 for me, is the same thing. Like, why are you allowing this? It doesn't seem like a good idea. So the issue with the kids, and this is the only way it makes sense to me, is they do all of this stuff without him knowing about it, right? Because we just dealt with a time travel issue that was going to destroy the entire world. So it would make no sense for Barry to be like, yeah, go ahead, run back to when I got my powers and screw around.
Check it out, have fun.
Right. So I think that they're doing it without him knowing. That's number one. The other thing is that this is one of the first times, other than like the Reverse Flash stuff that happened during Armageddon, where Barry is not the point of view time travel character.
Yeah.
Because this means they're going to be changing things that he's not aware of. And I'm curious if he's going to start to experience like pops of like things being different or whatever, or if he's just going to change along with everybody else. Because after Armageddon now, I question how timelines work on the Flash. So
yeah, me
that's
too.
my thoughts on it.
I'm
not happy about some of the villains returning though. So, some of them look really cheesy.
Oh my God, Ghostface is back. I kind of forgot about that. And Eric Wallace was like, you remember when he did that tweet and he was like, oh, so excited, like Ghostface is coming back. Like, do they not know he's a meme? They know for sure.
See, this is what I was concerned about, right? Like, this was some of the problems I had with last season was the almost like Deadpool type humor that doesn't fit within the show. But I feel like Eric Wallace treats each graphic novel as a different world almost in terms of tone. And that would be okay if he wants to give us like a super dark graphic novel and then a super funny graphic novel. But I don't want everything to be so ridiculous. I don't like that about the show.
Yeah.
Armageddon was so good. Like, don't go back to the other stuff.
We don't need Ghostface. Do you know what episode Ghostface is in?
No, probably. Well, the interludes are coming up, so probably one of those.
I think the Nora and Bart storyline is going to be interesting. I think that's going to be what's going to save us. And then you're going to have these random villains like in the present day with like Barry and stuff. And I can't.
So if Goldface comes back, does that mean we're going to get Amunet Black again? Is she going to come back?
Probably. Maybe Eric Wallace loves Amunet Black. Oh my God. No, please save us. Anyway, what do you guys think about that? Daddy Likes the Meta was coming back. And I mean, if he doesn't, like, they know he's a meme. If he doesn't say that line, I don't know what's up. Yeah. Right? He has to say Daddy Likes the Meta. Yeah. Just how it's got to go. Yeah, so that pretty much does it for now. We covered a lot. This has been a very good stream. You guys sent in some really good questions. Obviously, we had a lot to talk about in regards to Superman and Lois, especially. And we did some rankings. That was fun. But remember, guys, go check out Eric's review. It's up on your channel right now. So go check it out. Airricksreloaded on YouTube. And also the after parties tomorrow. I'm not going to be able to come on tomorrow, but fingers crossed next week should be all good.
And the people that were asking, yes, I'll be talking about Naomi and Batwoman on the after party, but I'm also doing a Batwoman.
That's something I need to catch up on, Naomi, because I actually haven't watched it yet because I was away when it came out.
Yeah.
And I was just so busy. And like I said to Eric before the stream, I didn't have internet, guys, for like at all. And every night I got back and it was super late. I was super tired. We walked like all around. And yeah, I just like Superman Lois. Like I could only watch one show in one night, basically. So
you picked the right one, honestly.
Oh, wait. Before we go, Naomi thoughts. Go, Eric. I'm interested because they haven't caught up on what people thought.
I'm not too drawn to it. I think that the last episode was the best episode they've had, but the show still feels like it's not quite there yet. So we'll see.
Does it feel CW? Does it feel HBO?
To CW.
To CW. What show would you compare it to in the Arrowverse?
Oh gosh, like any of the ones that are not superhero shows, like all of the young adult shows. Like it's really there's a spoiler alert. There's no superhero stuff in the first 3 episodes.
No superhero
Nothing.
stuff?
No, nothing at all.
No reference to
Um,
Superman?
There is a 3 or 10-second part in the first episode that references Superman, but after that, nothing else. They cut away from all the action. This week, there's literally an action scene that is getting ready to happen, and they cut away from that scene
Okay.
to something else, and you see no action. Whenever she jumps to fly, you never see it. There's
What do you mean?
no,
Where
like,
they cut to another point?
they just cut away. There's just nothing. Like when she went to fly in episode 2, they cut away from it and then we never saw it.
What?
The
That's so
most
weird.
the most superhero element we got was seeing I guess Hawkman, I guess is who he is. We get to see his wings, but we see that in the trailer.
Yeah.
That's it. There's nothing else. There are moments where powers are being used, but it's very, very, very light with the powers. Like just almost non-existent. The show really is about the kids.
Yeah.
So I'm not lying, Malik. Name one superhero thing that has happened on Naomi other than Superman showing up in episode 1. There's
I saw
nothing.
that. That's not.
There's nothing.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing. The show, like, she uses her powers like, if you were to say, okay, so I'll give you a percentage. Out of 45 minutes of the episode, 2% of it might have powers in it.
What do you think of this?
Because that's from the comic book.
I know
she's
it's from the
lowest
comic
original
books. I
color.
like Naomi in the comic books. I think she's very cool, especially in the recent Justice League run.
Uh-huh.
But for the Arrowverse, doesn't it make more sense for it to be Supergirl?
Well, she's not in the Arrowverse.
Oh, she's not? So this is a different version of Superman? Guys, why are we making Arrowverse shows that aren't in the Arrowverse?
This takes place on a real Earth. Like, Superman is a comic book character.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Green Arrow, Supergirl, all of those superheroes are in comics only. They're not real people.
Okay, look, I'll let that slide because, like, in DC Comics, it has happened that, I think the Flash used to read like Barry, when he first introduced, he read stories about Jay Garrick in comic books. But that was because there was somehow a connection between his Earth and the real Jay Garrick on another Earth. So maybe that's going to be the twist, like it is way back when. However,
so Naomi is, so I want to put this out there. It's not an awful show. Like, it's not one of those shows where I would be like, you don't watch it. It's awful.
Yeah.
Like, that wouldn't be my suggestion. It's just, it's not connected to the Arrowverse. It's not anything like the shows on the Arrowverse.
Mm-hmm.
The acting is very wooden. Naomi's the only character that feels real.
Okay.
There's been theories that she's living inside of like a false reality.
Mm-hmm.
There's been some mention of that. I don't know if that's true or not. It would make sense, but the further we go into the show, I feel like that's not what's actually happening. Either way, Naomi is not what I expected it to be. I expected it to move much more quickly. The storylines are very slow.
It seemed very exciting from the trailers, right?
Yes. Naomi is a Scooby-Doo gang show.
Oh, really?
It's her and her friends investigating a mystery, and every once in a while powers come into factor, but very rarely. It's mostly just a mystery show.
You know what? Even though you're not saying it's the best, I'm actually intrigued because I'm like, okay, I need
you should watch it and see
an
what you think.
on it.
Yes, absolutely.
Whilst it's early on.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm definitely going to catch up.
Right now, the best episode is episode 3, but that's not saying much because the show hasn't really wowed me yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do like the costuming. I think the costume to wardrobe department is doing an amazing job on the show. Like, the clothes they're the best looking clothes that we've seen on any of the Arrowverse shows, but this isn't Project Runway. This isn't a fashion series.
Has Naomi got her costume yet?
No.
Okay.
Naomi doesn't even really know how to use her powers. Like, this is like very bare bones. Probably my biggest complaint, and Paige and I talked about this, is even though Wonder Girl, the series Wonder Girl, seems to have a little bit of controversy right now based on some of the stuff that's happening in the comics, I would have liked another character other than Naomi, because Naomi, even though she's relatively new, this feels like a retelling of a Superman story. It's literally like a retelling of Superman. It's almost like Smallville, like the idea of this mystery and people are going to school and that kind of thing, and people aren't really using powers. But I don't even think it's as interesting as Smallville. So it's really just not hitting the mark for me. Also, I think it's going to be better to watch on a binge. I think the show will be much better once the whole season comes out and people get to watch the whole thing all as one long thing. That's my opinion on it. So
that's interesting. Well, I'm definitely going to watch Naomi and give you guys my thoughts on it. I feel like binge watching something. I've been rewatching Supergirl season 1 whilst I was in America, and I love it, guys. I love it. I know not everyone loved it, but like, I guess whilst it's not on, it's just so nice to jump back into that world.
Yeah.
We rewatched an Arrow episode, like the first, just the pilot, and recently, and that was awesome as well. So I'm feeling like gotta catch up.
You know what's really weird is I like mystery, but I feel like Naomi's mystery and some of the acting just don't work for me. So that's my biggest issue with it, I think. So
well, thank you guys for watching, and this has been quite a long stream, very cool stream. We got to talk about a lot of amazing stuff, and once again, thanks to Eric for joining, and thanks to everyone who tuned in, supported, or just commented in the chat. You guys are awesome. And for now, thank you guys so much for watching. Go check out Eric's channel, check out his Superman Lois review, and whatever videos are coming out soon. And also, I'm going to have my Flash trailer video out tomorrow, because I did release it very briefly, but then I was like, nah, Superman Lois is coming out. I'm going to hold it back. So that's coming out and tomorrow. So thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys later. Goodbye.